Good morning, and welcome to A Moment of Hope with Upward Transitions. I'm Kana. I am the Development and Public Relations Manager for Upward Transitions, and I'm usually your host on A Moment of Hope. Today, I want to talk to you about a few things that frustrate me, tell you why I'm frustrated, and then I'll tell you why I have hope despite my frustrations. So bear with me as I gently rant, maybe not so gently, about a few things that frustrate me. The first one, as any of you know who have heard me speak or have watched A Moment of Hope or have just hung out with me, is that the people who are on the street experiencing homelessness are often trapped in homelessness. We look at them, we judge them, we see them as dirty, lazy, and crazy. And it's easy to assume that those people did something to cause them to be where they are, which sometimes they have. Most of us deal with our own consequences, and many of us are spared our consequences because of our support network. But we tend to not really humanize them too much. There are some facts that people don't know that I think people need to know. The first one is that at any given time, 70% of the people that you see on the street without a home also have no form of ID. They have no birth certificate, social security card, state ID, or driver's license, and no earthly way to get one. If you don't have one, you can't have the other. If you cannot prove who you are, we don't let you into society. We push you right out. And we see you, and we see that since you don't have a home and you don't have a washer or a dryer and you don't have money for a laundromat, your clothes are dirty. And that makes you different from us. But thing is, your clothes get dirty when you don't have a home. And you get stressed when you're afraid and you can't sleep and you don't have food. And you start to get crazy the longer you're on the street. We also don't realize, a lot of us, that if you get evicted, it's permanent. If you have a hit on your credit rating, after so many years, depending on what the hit was, it goes away. Or you can do things to correct it. You can fix your credit, work with a credit counselor, or just pay off everything and do good. In 7 to 15 years, in some cases only 3, your credit is better. But if you have an eviction on your record, it's a life sentence. No one is going to rent a house or an apartment to you if you have an eviction. I feel that needs to change. I think that there should be a way you can show a good financial record and good financial track record, and have that either expunged, or there should be a limit to how long that should be on your record, how long you're not allowed to rent. My frustration with that is that evictions are rapidly increasing here in Oklahoma City and in Oklahoma County. Everybody, you've heard this mantra over and over, everybody was hit hard by COVID, everyone, including landlords. And they've extended a lot to their renters. But that they have to make money to feed their families. And a lot of people can be evicted now for just being 3 days late on their rent some places. I know that's shocking. It's not everywhere, but that is the case. And statistics and records are showing that those evictions are increasing like fast. So you have someone with no support network. Either their family is non-existent, they have no extended friends with any means to help them if they're in financial trouble of any kind. They don't have credit cards or loans that they can tap into. They don't have a high income. Their rent is really high. And then something happens. They have a medical crisis, or their car breaks down, or they lose their job, or a family member dies, and they can't pay their rent, and they get evicted. Now what? Where are they going to go? Raise the money, walk to work, and get another house or apartment to rent? Not likely. Not with an eviction on their record. We filter people in and out of shelters. It's a cycle. We call them the chronically homeless. Once whatever has brought you to the street has you on the street, you can hopefully find help in one of our local shelters that are run by incredibly good people, incredibly hardworking and devoted people. But they're overcrowded. Some of them have absolutely no room at all. During the winter, we opened in Oklahoma City all kinds of extra space in shelters. And now that it's spring, those are full. And there are people who can't even go to a shelter because they're full. But the ones who can go, they're not in a permanent home. They're in a place where it's like an emergency room. It's crisis management. It's not a life. So after a while, whether it's because someone in there is frightening to them or because they just want to move forward, they leave, and they end up trying to sleep in the park or getting someone to give them a tent, sleeping under an overpass. And when that gets too scary or too hard, they go back to trying the shelter. And this becomes a cycle. And after a while, that becomes the life they know. And they don't know how to get out of it. Where would you go? How would you get your ID? How would you get a home? How would you get a job? How would you get therapy? How would you get better? I don't know about you guys, but I've had some hard, traumatic things happen to me in my life. And if it weren't for therapy, I'll be frank, I'd be a mess. I have been a mess in the past, I think all of us have. But that's because when you're a child, when traumatic things happen to you, it affects your whole life. There's a term used now that I like. It's called an ACE score. ACE is ACE. It stands for Adverse Childhood Experience. And depending on what the experience or trauma is, it gives you a higher number on your ACE score. Now, if you have an ACE score of 3, 4, or 5, you're going to have problems. Children with high ACE scores have a high probability of contracting asthma, kidney disease, heart disease, cancer, learning disabilities, mental illness, and all kinds of other problems because of an adverse experience during formative years. I mean, talk about proof that your emotions affect your health. Those ACE scores really tell a story. Well, we now know that children who experience homelessness even one time for 1 week have a high ACE score. Just one time they go through this experience of not having security, not having anywhere to live, not knowing where they're going to eat, where they're going to sleep, not knowing who's going to be a bad guy who might hurt them, who's going to hurt their mom or their dad or whoever is with them. That's all it takes to affect their entire future. And as much as we here in Oklahoma love our children and love other people's children and would do anything to help them, once they're on the street, you better help them, but it's already doing damage. And that's frustrating to me. That's the most frustrating thing to me. It also frustrates me that we have such a high number of senior and elderly people who are experiencing extreme poverty and homelessness. And even if you have a great ID and a great history and good mental health, if you're older and your body is failing, it's really hard to get a job if you run out of money. For a lot of people, Social Security isn't very much money. You need an income. And if you didn't have a job that gave you a good retirement, or you've had to just keep working and now your body's failing, and you've worked for other people and taken care of other people all your life, why aren't we taking care of you? Why are there so many? And that frustrates me. Don't get me started on veterans. There are way too many veterans experiencing homelessness everywhere. Not just in Oklahoma, but everywhere. That shouldn't happen to any veteran, in my opinion. So those are some of the things that have me really frustrated. I want to shift gears, remind myself, and tell you why we have hope, though. People who are homeless, who don't have an ID, who want to get a job, want to get medical help, want to get a home in Oklahoma County and in Oklahoma City, they can go to a shelter or a doctor and say, I need help with this. And the shelter or the doctor or their caseworker will go, let me call Upward Transitions. Because Upward Transitions will get them those birth certificates, those IDs, those identifying documents, and make sure that they can use those to get what they need to get on their feet. It doesn't cost anything. And if there's missing information, our case managers are good. They'll reach out to foreign consulates to get your birth certificate. They'll do everything that they can, and they won't give up, no matter how long it takes, to get you identifying documents. We have people come in, and this is what really gives me hope. After they finally get that ID, hold it up, grin, and tell us, I'm someone now. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier about how we see them, we judge them, and we don't let them into society. We push them out once they don't have a home or an ID, and they start to look like they don't have a home or an ID. They don't get to be in our culture. They don't get to be in our society. Once they have that ID, they know that we're going to let them back in. They can get that job. They can get benefits. They can get therapy. They can get medical help. And they can get a home. Another thing that gives me a lot of hope is, I don't know if you've seen this on the news. I sure have. Oklahoma City has started this thing called the Key to Home Initiative. And it's a revolutionary idea. And they went ahead and put it into practice, where they took all the nonprofits that work to help people experiencing homelessness and pulled us together to work together to see how we can fix the homeless problem in Oklahoma City. And they set a crazy goal. In 2 years' time, 3/4 of the homeless people in Oklahoma City are going to have a home. That is ambitious. But let me tell you, the halfway point is half a year away. We are half a year in to this effort, and we're on track. They are already putting people in homes and already at those numbers. And in 2 years' time, I fully expect 3/4 of the homeless in Oklahoma City to have homes, maybe more. That's how incredible this revolution is. They're changing how we do things. And I really encourage you to join us in supporting this effort and look online, look at the website, see what's happening. And if there's a way you can be involved, you should. Upward Transitions is involved. We are doing everything we can to help. We contribute our ideas at every level, our input, and we have a very big piece of helping getting those people into homes, of course, with our IDs and birth certificates that we provide. Another area that gives me a lot of hope is when people are at risk of becoming homeless, especially families with children at risk of having their ACE score permanently raised, they can come to Upward Transitions. They can tell us, hey, I've had this crisis. I can't pay my rent and I can't pay my utilities, or both. And we'll help them. We will get those rents and utilities paid. We've even gone so far as to go to eviction court. We work with landlords. Again, we have case managers that I'm in awe of. They are highly educated, very experienced, very devoted, and so good at what they do. They back check every fact, and they lift up every rock, uncover every hidden thing to find a way to help the people that need the help. The cool thing is, okay, we can help them one time, and then we follow up with them. Now, our case managers, when they help, also help them establish a budget, get a better paying job if they need a better job, make some decisions about where they're spending money that they shouldn't be, so that this can't happen to them again. But we also follow up with them to make sure that they're still stable, that they're successful in their efforts. We follow up to a year. And the cool thing is, in our follow-up, in our surveys, which we track like it's a finance, the majority of them are not only stable and more secure than they were before, but they're hopeful. We ask them about that. They're grateful and they're hopeful for the future. And that gives me hope that, we just literally yanked someone from the jaws of tragedy, especially a child, with one little month of rent. And if you know the numbers there, it's really worth it because, okay, Upward Transitions will pay anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 on average to help with rent and utilities for a family. If that family didn't get that help in time, or, didn't come to Upward Transitions and is evicted, it costs upwards of $10,000 to get them back into a home. Anyone in that circumstances. If they stay on the street and become homeless for a period of time, it costs the city of Oklahoma City $20,000 a year per person. So this is a great investment, in my opinion. And again, that gives me hope. Another thing that gives me hope is that we have a fundraiser coming up. Yes, I'm going to talk about the fundraiser again. We are going to have a huge party on May 10th, starting at 6:30 at the Farmers Market here in downtown Oklahoma City. It is our annual fundraiser known as American Tourist. And this year it's American Tourist New Orleans. And it's a blast. It's going to be so much fun. And I'm so excited to be part of it and to get to go to it. And it raises wonderful funds so that we can do what we do for another year. We get funding from a lot of different, really amazing, generous donors and supporters every year from really diverse backgrounds, all kinds of organizations and individuals. But this gives us a lot of our funding too, and it's really important to us. And so we really have a good time. There's going to be live jazz music all evening. If you've ever heard Justin Eccles and his band, you know this is going to be good. They're going to be playing jazz. We're going to be dancing to it. There's a big dance floor. There's also going to be some more music, but I think that should be a surprise. There's going to be a Big Easy Cajun buffet. There's going to be, and that's going to be catered, by the way, from Social Deck, which, yum. There's going to be a cash bar, and there's going to be a live auction, some really exciting stuff, especially if you're a Thunder fan. There's going to be a silent auction. We have a lot of great stuff for the silent auction, and some of that you can see ahead of time on I almost said the Facebook. Oh, how old am I? On the internet, on our social media. We'll have it on Facebook. We'll have it on Instagram, Twitter, and even YouTube, and LinkedIn, I believe, too. We will have a wine pull. We'll have a jewelry pull. We'll have a raffle. We will have such a good time. And if you don't have tickets yet, I highly encourage you to get them because you're running out of time. I mean, it's just weeks away. And we're wanting to have everybody kind of settled and RSVP'd in by the end of April. So get your tickets, get the reserved tables because those are really worth it. And if you want to get a sponsorship, we're going to run out of those. So get those sponsorships just as fast as you can. That's the best deal because you get a whole table, plus you get all kinds of perks. So that's really the best way to go. And then bring a lot of your friends. You can find out more about that on our website at www.upwardtransitions.org/American Tourist, all one word. You can also get more information if you have questions at 405-232-5507, extension 113, or you can email us at info@upwardtransitions.org with your questions, and we'll get right back to you. One last thing I want to tell you I have a lot of hope about is just where we are. Oklahoma City is amazing. I didn't realize that I grew up in Guthrie and spent a whole lot of time in Oklahoma City and moved away to Los Angeles, moved back after the bombings. And I didn't know until I was an adult living here how different we are from other cities. I worked with the homeless population in Los Angeles. It meant a lot to me. They're not like us. The people who help in other cities, and we've checked, people in Chicago and in Detroit, New York, have been baffled at how we knew who to call for things when they were needed. We all work together. We want to help, and we want to help each other. And so when someone comes to us needing their ID, and let's say they have a criminal record, and that's also keeping them from getting a job, we call Diversion Hub. We know their number. They know ours. When someone doesn't have an ID and they've been on the street for a long time and they come to us and they have nowhere to sleep, we'll call Homeless Alliance. We'll call City Care. We reach out to our partners because we're all partners. In my opinion, my theory is there are two reasons for this. One is things like the bombing that happened and the horrible tragedies we have with tornadoes sometimes. I think we stick together. I think we look out for each other here. I think we've learned, if you need me, I'm going to help you because I'm probably going to need you someday. And that's kind of an Oklahoma thing, in my opinion, because I didn't see it in Los Angeles. And I have talked to people in other cities and they don't see that there. My theory is that the other thing is United Way of Central Oklahoma, because they're not like other United Ways either. They have all of us working together and doing things together. Right now, I believe they have 73 United Way partners in just Oklahoma City. And we all know each other. We all work together. I know so many people through that. When I started working at Upward Transitions, the first people I got to know were my counterparts in other organizations in United Way and that were partners with United Way. That's incredible to me that that's how it works here. That's just how it's an oiled machine. It just works. And that gives me more hope than anything, that we work together, we look out for each other. And if we can't help you, our partners can. The key is the people who need the help need to know where to go to get the help. They need to know help is there. And they need to know that we're not just going to throw them away. Any of us could be a paycheck away from a really, really horrible crisis that could lead to an outcome we couldn't imagine. No one could imagine for us. But life's hard. And these are really trying financial times. And we want to save people from them. Have people get back in society, be part of the help, not part of the people needing help. Something that our CEO, Perian Pulliam, says regularly that I love. It's this metaphor that there are all these people swirling around in this homeless body of water, let's say, in Oklahoma City. And we're trying to drain that, trying to pull them out. But there's a faucet that just keeps pouring more in. And the way that we're approaching it now, the way that Upward Transitions is approaching it is we want to turn the faucet off. That's why we help people with those rents and those utilities. People can be pulled out, and we help a lot of people get their IDs. I believe 1,880 people got IDs last year from us. We want to turn off the faucet, help people get those rents and those utilities paid and not get evicted and not end up in that situation to begin with. And stay stable and stay hopeful. Last year, before my time, Upward Transitions helped almost 4,000 people. I think it's less than 4,000 people. And they only had a team of 11. We have 12 people now. Just imagine what we can do. That gives me hope too. This is an incredible organization. This is an incredible city. And we have incredible partners in an incredible state. We can do this. And that gives me hope. I just need more of you to believe we can do this and get passionate about it and get involved. Follow us on Facebook. That's one little thing you could do. Or if you prefer Instagram, or if you prefer LinkedIn, or of course, you can follow us on YouTube, Twitter, or X, anything. Just follow us on a social media platform and read our newsletters and maybe volunteer when there's an opportunity. We have an opportunity right now. In fact, if you'd like to volunteer to come to the May 10th fundraiser to American Tourist New Orleans and help us with some things that we need help with, you can get a free ticket. So there's a volunteer opportunity. Now, we will put you to work. Don't think this is a great way to just come get a free meal and have a party. We will put you to work, but we need your help, and it's a really fun night, and it it's a really great way to help with a great cause. So this is my rant slash gush and my call out to my friends to get involved in helping the people around them, their neighbors who need help to get back on their feet, and help us to help them. If you would like to donate to Upward Transitions, it's really easy. You just go to upwardtransitions.org/donate. Real simple. You can donate any amount. Any amount helps. Literally any amount. If you would like to sponsor the fundraiser, you can do that there. You can actually, it's a fund to cause things. You want it to sponsor, you want to go to American Tourist. That's upwardtransitions.org/American Tourist. And that's where you can purchase a sponsorship and get all the perks. But if you just want to donate to the fundraiser, you choose Fund a Cause. If you'd like to just be involved and help us any other time, shoot us an info@upwardtransitions.org email and tell us, I want to be involved. I don't know what to do. I will call you. I will email you. I will have coffee with you. I will find a way for you to be involved at a level that you can handle. The time that you can spare, the money that you can spare, the telling people that you can spare. I want you to be involved. And I hope that you guys will be involved, because it is so rewarding to know that you're helping someone, that you're helping a family, that you're helping a child, you're helping an elderly person or a veteran or someone just like you who didn't have the support network or the blessings or the luck that you had. So I think that's it. That's my rant for the day. And I will be back next week with more hope. And hopefully you will join me again, and you will go online and check out Upward Transitions and get involved with American Tourist and get involved with us and get involved in the wonderful things that are happening in Oklahoma City. So I thank you for watching today. Thank you for listening today, and I'll see you next week.